all of that agreement is reflected in the current draft. We're at a different stage. There's now a bill draft that is public, and so there has been a lot of public debate on Obamacare for the last 7 years, and there will continue to be debate. We can get this done. We can get to yes, but the key to getting it done, to getting to yes, is we need common sense reforms that lower the cost of premiums so that health insurance is more affordable for families who are struggling.
Senator Cruz, are you making yourself, people sometimes when we get to these big bills, they put themselves in play. It doesn't do this provision or whatever, and then you can trade horses and maybe get those things, and it's good optics. I fought for this, look what I got. Is none of that going on here? These are just things that you oppose? Or do you think that by saying no, that they will come to you and say, maybe we can help you on this issue, maybe help you on this issue, and maybe get you to yes?
I have been clear from day one that I want to get to yes. When I ran for Senate, I campaigned on repealing Obamacare. It was the central promise of the campaign. In my time in the Senate, nobody has fought harder against Obamacare than I have. This matters. We've got to do it, but we've also got to get it right. It's not enough just to pass a bill that has Obamacare repeal in the title. We've got to actually have legislation that fixes the underlying problem. Under Obamacare, the average family's premiums have risen over $5,000 a year. That is the fault of the federal government. It's the fault of the failed federal policy that is Obamacare. We need to fix that. And so throughout the conversations with the working group, with the majority leader, with the president, with the vice president, I've made very clear I want to get to yes. And the way to get to yes is fix the underlying problems, lower premiums, and I will happily be part of it. We can get there, and I think there are a lot of other senators who feel very much the same as I do.
But what about resolving that in a conference committee, and you turn out to be the person that prevents it? You're the 49th or 48th vote, and they're just shy.
Well, I think we can get there, but this current draft doesn't do nearly enough. This current draft, my biggest concern is under this current draft, premiums would continue to rise. And if premiums continue to rise after we hold a press conference claiming to have repealed Obamacare, that's a disaster. It's a disaster politically. It's a disaster substantively. It would be a failure of the mandate we've been given by the voters.
Would you be willing to make changes on the Medicaid legislation as it currently stands? Because even if you guys turn to yes, there's still the potential that the moderates like Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins could be no's and forth this.
Everyone expects this current draft for there to be significant changes to it. And indeed, the majority leader and the staff in rolling it out, they said this is a discussion draft, this is a first draft, there are going to be significant changes. Of course, we're going to have to continue having a negotiation. Everyone's going to have to give. That's the only way you can get at least 50 out of 52 Republicans. We have a very narrow majority. The only way you can get to yes is if everyone is willing to give some. And I think the keys to it are focusing on issues, on principles that bring us together. And two principles that bring us together that I think are the keys to getting agreement and getting the job accomplished are, number one, lowering premiums. If premiums go down, that's a win for everyone. It's a win for conservatives. It's a win for moderates. It's a win for the men and women we represent. But number two, another principle that unifies everyone is state flexibility. Letting states have far more flexibility. So, for example, with Medicaid, letting each individual state design creative and innovative new plans to care for the most vulnerable. Letting a more moderate governor, like a John Kasich in Ohio, do what the state of Ohio wants, and letting a more conservative governor, like a Greg Abbott in Texas, do what the state of Texas does. The beauty of a principle like more state flexibility is that it unifies our conference. It gives a win for everyone. And if we come out of this with premiums going down, with consumers having more choices, more options, lower prices, and states having more flexibility for creative, innovative solutions to caring for the most vulnerable, that is a big win.
But on Medicaid,